You didn't draw very well.
Hey YouTube, this is Steelfenix bringing you round 3 of Game 1, Justin versus Brian.
No, that's not horrible.
Dude, do you stack?
But,
I stack hard.
Justin won Game 2, so Brian opts to go first in Game 3.
I'm just gonna go
Brian
with
sets
that
one card to the back row, passes turn to Justin.
Actually, I'm gonna MST.
Justin draws for turn, activates MST, destroys Brian's face down bottomless. He sets 1 and passes turn. Brian uses MST, destroys Justin's face down dust tornado. Brian summons Gale and attacks for 1300.
I'm gonna end setting 1.
Brian sets 1 to the back row and passes turn. Justin draws. Sets 2 to the back row and passes to Brian. Brian activates Heavy Storm. Destroys Justin's Call of the Haunted and Book of Moon. And destroys his own set Solemn Judgment.
Because you can't do that.
Brian attacks again with Gale for 1300.
Come on, Gale.
Did you not draw any other monsters either?
Brian passes turn without a back row. Justin draws. Sets 1 card to the back row, looks through his grave, passes to Brian.
Turret improved. Adrenaline research.
Should be at like, yeah, 41.
Turret complete.
Brian sets a card to the back row, doesn't attack, and Justin uses brain control on Gale. Pays 800 and offers Gale for Caius.
Reactor improved.
He removes Brian's back row,
Turret complete.
which is Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Brian chains, puts Caius back in the top of the deck, and discards Book of Life.
Enemy engagement.
Draw. Lower darkness.
Brian activates Allure of Darkness, draws 2, removes from play Gores.
Whenever I have a monster, you can actually
He sets 1 to the back row and passes.
Turret complete.
Justin passes turn. Brian passes turn. Justin summons Krebens
Take your 1200.
and attacks Brian for 1200 damage.
Turret upgrade.
There you go.
Nothing?
Sorry, I didn't draw yet. My turn?
All units.
Brian draws.
That's awful.
Passes turn and Justin activates Cold Sark. Brian reveals the 2 top deck Deep Sea Divas in a row.
That's why I like Krebens. Because on the off, that doesn't happen often.
No, it's like, I don't think I separated them when I shuffled. It's like if,
3 bones. Yeah, I didn't know what to take because I just know monsters.
only if you could see my hand.
Justin decides to take
That's gonna give me monsters.
Goblin Zombie with Gold Sarcophagus effect.
I mean, it's getting better now. But
It's getting better. Did you just put that in your hand?
Power turret
You got
research.
them? Yeah, there you go.
I wasn't gonna play it anyway. If I tried to play it, you would have caught me.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Monsters, you don't
He
have
attacks
monsters.
Krebens.
Wait a sec.
Or he offers Krebens for Caius, removes Brian's face down, bottomless trap hole. Brian chains.
Somebody has to do something.
Whatever.
Go. Should have just attacked for 12 first.
Well, now.
Brian sets 1 of each and passes turn.
You know what it is.
Justin draws.
Wait, how many cards do I have? Quiet. I don't have
Sets 1 to his back row
What, Aaron?
and ends. Brian draws for turn.
I've been saying stuff for like now.
Looks at his back row. Looks at his face down.
Go.
No one's gonna want to see this on YouTube.
Waiting.
Passes
I
turn
don't
to
know
Justin,
those
who
things,
draws.
Voice things, so I'm not supposed
It's
to
not
talk.
epic at all.
Phoenix swing your face down.
He flips Phoenix Wing Wind Blast.
I get. Well,
Wait, hold on.
Targets
I'm
Brian's
doing this in your end phase.
Oh, okay,
Phoenix
okay,
swing,
okay.
so I'm only gonna have 3. It's your dino
face
position,
down.
Which is why I'm doing this in end phase.
Shoot me time
And I'm just targeting.
and
Lots of traps.
So, in your end phase, I'm doing this.
Where you just grab.
chooses to discard a
So my
Mizuki.
that goblin. Right. I know.
He takes the remove and play Goblin Zombie from Gold Sark and adds it to his hand.
Very clever.
He activates Mind Control, takes Brian's face down Deep Sea Diva, summons Goblin Zombie and Synchros, uses Goblin Zombie's effect to search his deck for Mizuki, and special summons Brionic from his extra deck.
68.
Justin sets a card and pitches Mizuki to return the set card to his hand, removes Mizuki to get Goblin. He activates Book of Life, removes Brian's Gale from play to special summon the other Mizuki in attack position. He attacks with Goblin Zombie, making Brian mill to set trap thus shoot.
So how much?
And then he attacks with Mizuki for 1700 and Brionic for 2300. Brian draws,
Mind control Brianna.
activates Mind Control, takes Brionic,
Diva.
summons Deep Sea Diva,
This is when 3 divas come in handy.
Yeah, but that's.
Too much.
synchros Justin's Brionic with his own Diva,
As soon as you use one diva, there's a dead diva in your deck.
I got synchro.
Yeah.
Right, what's right? Thanks. What? Thanks, Brian.
and special summons Stardust Dragon from his extra deck.
Brian, what's Brian's phone number? I'll say a sec.
Take a sec.
He activates Lightning Vortex, discarding Spirit Reaper, destroys both of Justin's monsters, and Justin searches for Goblin Zombie.
I'm assuming you're attacking.
Actually,
I'm assuming you're attacking an ending.
Justin opts to take Plague Spreader Zombie from his deck,
0 for me, actually. Think about it. By 25.
What, 'cause you lose 2
and Brian attacks directly with Stardust Dragon for 2500 damage.
Goblin zombie right away. Like sparks.
That's
Justin draws for turn,
Normal.
normal summons Plague Spreader Zombie, removes Mizuki and special summons Goblin Zombie.
okay, go ahead.
He synchros the two of them up for a 6-star,
You good too?
searches for a Goblin Zombie.
My. I have Mizuki.
Chris puts a cookie on his mat.
Actually, I'm not gonna give away.
He top decks a card to special summon Plague Spreader.
Doom Kaiser and
The 6-star he chose to synchro was Doom Kaiser Dragon. He special summons Spirit Reaper from Brian's extra deck, graveyard.
then I'm gonna synchro these
He
two.
sinks Doom Kaiser and Plague Spreader,
Colossal Fighter.
gets Colossal Fighter, activates Burial to return both Mizukis and Plague Spreader to his graveyard. Removes both Mizukis for Plague Spreader and Doom Kaiser.
Android.
Synchros the Plague Spreader with the Spirit Reaper for Magical Android. Uses Doom Kaiser's effect to special summon Reaper from Brian's grave.
Attack with Colossal.
Justin attacks Stardust Dragon with Colossal Fighter.
We have 1 card in hand.
Brian checks his grave. Checks his hand. The attack goes through for 300 damage.
I put a second void in this deck.
Justin attacks directly with Reaper to discard Brian's card.
You wanna know what it was?
Card is Brain Control.